Hi, my name's Matt Cameron, and I help people connect with digital marketing. Today, here with Risto and Tracardi, CDP Community Office Hours. Risto, do you want to say a couple of words, introduce yourself for anyone that doesn't quite know you yet?
Yeah, I'm Arista. I'm a founder of Tracardi CDP, which is an open source customer data platform that we've been developing for over 3 years already. And well, we are building community around it. So everybody who's interested in marketing and automating the marketing can join us and use Tracardi for their purposes.
Awesome. I think the office hours, which we've just started, we've done a couple of these events, and also the Slack group, which we'll share the link to, are great places to connect with the community on. But we'll share more about that shortly. Today, we're just going to run through an article that I've actually put together, which talks about my journey over my initial journey with Tracardi and the things that I needed to make sense of it with. So it's just like a getting started guide. So I'm not going to go into all the detail of it, but I will share the article and pop up a QR code on the screen on the recording so that you can follow along. Let's bring that up. So I'll share the screen. Okay, so it's just on my personal blog at Influencer Tips. It's just about getting started with some customer engagement strategies with the open source Tracardi CDP, and also how you might go about that with a Ghost blog. I know not everyone uses Ghost for blogging. There's WordPress and a whole lot of other different platforms out there, but Ghost is what I use, and it sort of talks about it through that lens as well, that integration piece. So the article goes through a series of steps. Like I said, I don't want to read it, but it talks about consents. Consents are just about one of the most important things to do, and it's about building trust and about getting those right. And when you're getting started with a CDP, one of the first steps you've really got to sort of nail down and get right, get done. So, like I said, this is my journey about getting started with Tracardi, and it's about how I managed it and how I'm now doing these sort of basic steps. Initially, I was doing them all sorts of different ways, and I've sort of just honed in on what's in this article and about how to do these concepts. So what we've got in the article is a series of screens, and these are screens from Tracardi, and they go through the concepts of where to find things. So we're just looking there at the content types, a couple of pre-set up content types. There's instructions here and details about how to navigate through the screens and set up event sources and the like. So I'll just scroll down a little bit further. There's three, as far as I'm concerned, there's three really basic automations that need to be set up. And the first one's got to do with consents. Best way of reading this article is actually from the top down to the bottom, so from the beginning to the end. It sort of introduces some concepts. So the first concept was an event source, and the next one's about automations. And we have a look at the web consent automation. We have a look at flows and how that flow works. And we have a look at the configuration of the activities in the flow. So Tracardi is built around automations, and the automations have activities. We can see here a decision, we can see a show consent bar, and we can see an update profile and an end. We can also see a trigger that starts the flow, which is a page view. And once again, the article just goes through how those are configured in some detail, and how I landed on working out how to do these. There's so much good material on YouTube, on the Tracardi YouTube channel. That also helped, and obviously being on Slack asking these questions. It's sort of where I bubbled up to get these sort of things done right. We look at some segments, because in a CDP, that's where you want to get stuff to. You want to get your cohorts, your audiences organized into segments where you can do things. And this talks next about segments, and it has a look at that flow for segments. In a nutshell, this flow talks about having a rule to apply a segment, and then updating the profile. If we just look at the logic behind the rule there, we can sort of see it's fairly self-explanatory. There's a condition where the number of visits has a count and it's greater than or equal to 10. So if it meets that criteria, then it gets the segment web frequent visitor. Otherwise, it gets a false segment. Otherwise, that segment's removed. Web frequent visitor segments removed from the profile for that contact or that person visiting. So just coming back to the flow there, that's the flow, the logic, and we've got some other activities there which don't have configuration. Next, identification, really big, important concept, and getting PII, personal identification information, out of your platform. So in this case, we're talking through the lens, once again, of Ghost, and we're looking at the member. So in Ghost, there's a concept of a member, and we look at the scripts that are required to push that data into Tracardi. We look at two concepts there. We look at the concept of a internal Tracardi event, which is the identification event, which is handled without an automation. And we look at the subscriber event, which we're passing the Ghost UUID. That's the unique identifier inside Ghost for the member, which we need later on to do things with. But for now, we're just pushing it into Tracardi. And then we just scroll back up and we'll just have a look at the trigger for that flow. So we see page view. We see the trigger for that flow. We don't see the trigger for that flow. We just see how we're calling that flow there. Here we go. So we've got the flow. Okay, so we were talking, jumping around a little bit there. Apologies. We were talking about the identification event, which is it's an in-platform event, and we've got the subscriber, which requires an automation, a user-defined automation. We start that user-defined automation off with the subscriber event. We copy some data, some configuration for that, which we see here. So we're taking a property off the event, we're copying it to the profile, which is the Ghost UUID, and then we're talking about some of the other activities there. So if we just scroll back up, the main work's done in the copy, update profile and end. Don't have any configuration associated with them. I think what's really interesting is that that's not too difficult. It's all the parts are fairly simple. Tracardi sort of designed around doing things simply. It is event driven. It's distributed. How it works, it really is about the events flowing in and then doing something. And I've always found with any system like this to keep all these parts small. Just keep each of your automations or each of your flows purpose built around just doing a thing. Don't make them too big, too many activities, because they don't need to be. You can split them into multiple flows or automations if you need to. And finally, as you click through a website, there's posts, and posts are tags, have tags, and tags can be about what the post is about. And in Tracardi, they're called interests. And we're seeing here how we're in the post template in Ghost, checking to see if there's any tags, if the post has been posted with a tag, and we're passing those tags as increased interest with an increased value of 1 back into Tracardi. We're just ignoring if it's blog because we just don't want to pass things we don't need into Tracardi, which the word blog, everything's going to be on the blog. And that's how we organize the events. That's why it's not, if the tag's not equal to blog, we pass it in. So if we're looking at this post here, this post is tagged with customer data platform, Martech developer, and Tracardi, and all those words or interests for the profile as the person's visiting get tracked back into Tracardi. There's two scripts here. First one is what needs to be added to the post HTTPS, the template, and then the following one's just to give context where in the post that would be. So from a Ghost point of view, it's after the content inside the post, but after where you would call for your content, your partial template. After that, you would place this script here. So that's it. It's the sort of article I wish it was about when I started, because I had to ask a lot of questions to get to the point where I got to write this. But I hope it helps to make sense. As mentioned, we'll put a QR code up on the screen, and you can do a proper read through and have a look at how that runs, and hopefully enjoy. So that's it for the walkthrough.
I really like how you did the integration. It's partially automated on the client side, so it all depends on the Ghost blog. So you just tag the articles, and then you get an interest in Tracardi.
Yeah. So much of this has come through from Slack and asking questions on the Slack, and you probably see all the design patterns that you've probably had answers for there. But I think the key takeaway is just to try and keep it simple, and let Tracardi do the things that it does well itself. There are other options for segmenting, but that segment flow would like to be doing something else with the profile after it's been segmented. So it's why it's split out as an automation. That could be equally well handled inside Tracardi by a built-in function as well.
Your article very nice, shows how you use the automation and gather the information inside profile. There are also other ways. So you could, for example, use the destination just to use some external database to collect all the data, and then based on that data do some analytics, and then just query it back to the workflow, to Tracardi. It all depends how you would like to use the segments that you are setting, because as you know, segments can be used for different purposes. Some for automation, some for sending emails, messages, maybe some for just sending the data to some external systems. So it can be done differently. Your way is like the proper way of doing it inside Tracardi, but also if somebody likes coding or moving data outside and using SQL, then this is also possible.
No, it's very true. For those that use Ghost, they'll know that it's integrated with Mailgun, and Mailgun's got callbacks on any event. So when an email is sent or delivered, you can get a notification on every delivery, which can be piped back into Tracardi. Unfortunately, opens and clicks between Ghost and Mailgun doesn't quite work. It's not seamless. So to get the open and click events, requires another process outside Tracardi, and it to collect the events from the SQL database, to loop through those events. So I'm actually started putting that piece together, because it's important for me to find out who's opening and who's clicking. So how does that work? It goes to the SQL database. There's a series of tables for Ghost. Unfortunately, there's no callback or plan for a callback for open events or click events at this stage in Ghost. But it goes to the strategy that I'm working through is just simply to go to the open event table in Ghost, in it's MySQL, then loop through those events for the last hour, then map them into Tracardi via an inbound event. It won't be the REST API, that'll be a callback event. So that'll get Tracardi updated.
I'm just curious. Do you have access to that database? And I mean to the MySQL?
I do, self-hosted. So
because there could be some other solution. You can look it up on the internet.
Yeah.
There are systems, open source systems, that watch the changes inside the table. Any table you connect to that system, and then they can send events through either queue or API. So then when something is inserted in the table, you could get an event. So I have
Uh,
to. I don't remember all the Debasium. I probably this is the well known or Rising Wave. Those are the systems that you can install, and they can watch the changes in the database.
and that's better than polling for the change. It's just to have the event pushed out. I guess there's still a poll there, but it's taken care of by that service. But definitely, after maybe if you could pop in the comments the names of those systems.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
to look it up. I will just post it in the comments in the video. Uh, mm, and as far as I know how it works, it basically connects to the engine of the database. So you should get the events very quickly.
yep. And once nut those out, we'll definitely put together another article with the
Mhm.
next layer of what to do and that journey that working through there. Um, that's just about it, I think. Oh, look at also the destination. I'm very keen on putting together a destination to update Ghost, update the member or the subscriber with the interests and sorry, not the interests, with their segments, and map them back as labels so they
Mhm.
can. Ad hoc email can be sent via Ghost out to different cohorts based on what they're doing. So, for example, if a person is a frequent visitor and they comment a great deal, it sort of makes sense to those sort of people. They're your ambassadors. They're the people that are really keen about what you're doing. So it makes sense to know who they are and be nice to them. Keep them special.
Yeah.
But all that's hard work, and none of us have got time for all that hard work. And this is all the automation that we're trying to sort out with Tracardi. So definitely dive into some of those topics
Mhm.
later. Some more articles around Ghost and Tracardi and nutting out that process and that flow and just about how to put that together. But this one was all just about those basic steps to get started with.
Mhm. And also on Slack, we had this discussion about this new feature that we've managed to implement, and I'm very proud of it because it just simplifies a lot of things and just saves me time. This automatic profile merging, and it I would like to just give a short explanation how it works because we didn't have time to explain it wholly.
No, definitely.
And well, this feature is right now with the new version enabled by default. One thing that you have to remember that we use emails, phones for kind of primary keys for our data inside database. So this feature just hash this value of an email and creates a unique ID. To make it safe, we use some mechanism that is called salting. Salting is just applying some random value to the email before we hash it. Prepare an ID of that email. So it's very important when we run Tracardi with automated profile merging that we deliver when starting Tracardi some random string. So our IDs that are created inside Tracardi are just unique to our instance. So nobody else can just guess it just by computing some strings. Uh, so this is how we started. You just give Tracardi a random string. It should be at least 20 characters, and then Tracardi starts tracking changes inside profiles. If a profile is updated with an email or phone, then Tracardi will mark it as a profile to be merged, and some background process will merge it. What is very interesting that some of this merging, because we use those IDs, can be done even outside that background process. And it's very beneficial because if you collect data from a webhook from external system, and there is an email inside that webhook, Tracardi won't even wait for a merging process to pick it up. It will just load the proper profile. So during processing, you will already have the filled profile already actually merged. So and once the profile are merged, you usually get everything from that data, from that merged data. So merging is not so frequent. Um, Even this merging process, I was just initially thinking that it should run 1 minute every minute, but right now it can run like every 15 minutes or every 1 hour, because some of the most important merging happens even before before this merging picks it up, because we have unique IDs that we can load the profiles. So and this is actually available right now, and with the final release, you will be able to use it just out of the box.
And it works. I can put my hand up and say it works. It's
Yeah, we
lovely.
spent some time just making sure that it works, and yeah, I'm quite proud of it, because I would probably remove some plugins from the workflow, so people don't get confused how to merge profile, because right now it will merge automatically, and this is very good news.
Yeah. It sort of goes back to that beginner's guide we're sharing before as well. There's a lot of ways of doing things in Tracardi, and sometimes stepping back, like you start automations. I go into the automations to get everything done, but there's just so many built-in features that will do the things that you possibly or probably want to do straight away, because they're the go-to things, or low-hanging fruit that just needs to be done to get started. So yeah, just
Yes, so yeah, and
just going to those. Yeah,
you,
I'll put a screen grab here afterwards of where you can find in Tracardi all those events and how they work, because it's documented inside the platform itself, just to give you a sense of where to find those.
and just quick tip for you, when you use would like to collect data, if somebody clicked on the email, or if there's some message was sent, there are also built-in events for that. There's message sent, etc. So it gets all the mapping, etc. And also, I've added to this version a very single action. You've asked on Slack how to integrate some external IDs into profile. So there is like add integration ID action that will basically just add this ID into a proper place.
That'd be good. I may need to revise the article, because
Mhm.
I'm actually merging the Ghost EU ID into a trait.
Oh, you can
Trait.
you can do it. You can do it whatever way you want.
Yeah.
Just a simplification for just observing how users are using Tracardi gives me an idea of how we can make things simpler. How we'd like to have a very simple system.
I think if you've got one system, you've got to, let's say you're doing everything in MailChimp, or you're doing everything in HubSpot, or you're doing everything in one platform. It's always very easy. You don't actually need a CDP, because really you don't, because it's all in one place. But as soon as you start having other systems, so you might have your blog, you might have your subscriber list somewhere else, a CRM, you've got events occurring in Stripe. You start having lots of streams of things come in. Now, if you don't have a CDP there, it actually becomes an exponential mess of links and connections between everything. And then when you start to do basic stuff like tracking
Yeah.
unsubs or consents, it's a nightmare, because you've got to take into consideration um, what's everywhere, and you end up in a land of extract and loads, and checking things on different systems to find out if it's worked. It is a mess, and that's why you have a CDP. And these identifiers, keeping them all in one place, it sort of gives you a bit of a data dictionary about where it is on the different systems. So I think it's a
Yeah, and you
good
can,
idea to get.
if you have automation, you can use them to fetch more data if you need to make some
Yep.
decision if something happens. And actually, I had a discussion about why our customers need CDP and from what backgrounds they come and what issues they have. And it's always the same. They've just started collecting data into some system, and then there's like another system, and they silos the data of the customers in three places. And they have like three places of the customer data. Each one is just a partial data, and sometimes when you look at the whole process, selling process, there's like a process that starts on the web page, and then there is an accountancy. There is also customer data. There you know if somebody paid or not. There is a like a shipment, and there's also customer data. Although you think there is none customer data, there is, because there's like address where to ship it, a lot of things. And then there's like no central place where you keep all the data. So based on that, you make decisions, and that's why putting CDP and especially Tracardi, which tends to be like a middleware between systems, just put it inside and just gather on that data into one place. So
It, any CDP, regardless of whether it's Tracardi or any other platform, it helps you to give the love to the customer that they deserve, because it shows that you're listening, and
right.
you're just bringing everything together so that you can play it back so that you've heard the conversation. So if you've got a comments system, you've got tickets you're raising, you could do some center analysis on the comments there and actually flow that back into your CDP, into Tracardi.
Yeah,
And that helps flavour the conversation you can have next, that next best message, that next best email. What is it, and what should it be, and how should you acknowledge and have that conversation with your customer? Maybe you should be picking up the phone and not
yeah, right.
it lets you know where you're at with that conversation. It gets
Mhm.
it out of the silos and brings it all together. So
And this is like on a customer experience part, but there are other parts of the whole puzzle. This is like compliance. When you have data spread around the systems, how do you comply with GDP? Well, how it's called in Europe? The Compliance Act, right? GDPR, yeah.
yep.
So you have to also comply with this. But if your data is spread around your ecosystem, how do you know what is going on? So if somebody gave you consent, then are you sending them emails, but they didn't give you a consent in that system? So this becomes a nightmare when you just have all the data spread out.
There we go. Just as announcements, next week's topic. So we're sort of at that bit of the alpha sounds. I guess we've covered off announcements there. How far away do you think? I see there's a release candidate 5 or 8.2,
Right.
which has been released. So it feels like we're getting close to an 8.2 stable, but it's still a little bit away.
Yeah, I have it already installed on my test system, on my test cloud. So I think maybe 1 week we could just make a final version. And I will be also releasing 0.9.0, an alpha version. So anyone who likes to play with the new things, just you can also do it.
It's probably fun me putting my hand up for at least
Yeah.
one Tracardi
This
instance.
this version actually is just move some data from the Elasticsearch where we store the data into MySQL. So for the bigger installations where we have a lot of data into Elasticsearch, that should help managing it. And yeah, and the new version will also put a lot of new stuff. So playing with it early, just gives us some information what we should fix. We already have some tips how to fix the dark mode that we've implemented in that version. So that's a nice tip.
What do you reckon we're going to talk about next week, Risto?
I think that that would be great because I think the final version will be released by that time. Maybe that would be a great time just to show what has changed since the last version.
That's like a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I think maybe the week after that, I might like to do the next stage of actually implementing on a more busier website, or one of the commercial websites to look after some of those concepts I talked about there, and also adding some messaging, some widgets. I'll get deployed and displayed on the screen. It's good to
Hi,
catch
good
up.
afternoon.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
I'm good. Great to listen to the two of you as you discuss on these important topics. So don't mind me if I can contribute. I'm still just learning the basics of CDP, and hopefully I get to be a master or have more knowledge about how things operate.
There's no masters. We're all learning. So one of my favorite, whenever I go into a project, I always say this to the team, we're all experts here. Like everyone's an expert and everyone's always got something to bring. So I'm sure I'm sure everything you do does make a difference. It's even just been his.
Yeah.
It's yeah, yeah, it's good. Hey, we also changed the time for this. So we were to start an hour later. So I might just keep the channel open after we stop recording and just see if anyone pops up then, and just say hello to them as well. And we'll cut that into the video as well if we've got any Q&A or any hellos from anyone that joins shortly on our change time. We are looking at starting the office hours at this time, so we just brought it back an hour earlier. It's just a little bit more convenient for everyone involved, especially for me. It makes it 10 p.m. in Australia Eastern Standard Time instead of 11, which is good.
Yeah.
To go to bed earlier, and I think Risto, it's good for you.
Yes, it's good for me as well. So
Yep. Awesome.
yeah.
All right, then. Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much, Risto, for all your support and help. The work that you've been
Thank
doing
you
on
for
the events.
making this office hours. I really enjoy contributing and just
Oh, no,
talking
it's
about
fun.
Tracardi. Yeah.
We've got so much on the Slack group, so many questions and answers. I was thinking about it today. We need to collect all the things that people talk about, because there's so much good stuff there, and just do a weekly Slack roundup of all the Q&A, because there's so many good things there.
Yeah.
And doing that would also create the Q&A for the
I'm
chat.
I'm
Chat.
trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying from time to time just collect it and just put it into ChatGPT and
Yeah.
make questions and answers from what we talk about. So gradually, I'm building this database that finally, when I have time, I can create this agent that can answer a lot of questions.
Awesome. All right. Till next week. Catch you guys
Okay.
later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.